Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about my Chanel 19 bags. I have one in caramel color from 21K and I have one in light gray color from 21A collection. I will talk about my first impressions for the bag, why I fell in love with them, that drove me to purchase them in the first place, and how I fell out of love with them after seeing all the deal breakers, and eventually what drove my decision to sell them. Make sure you stay to the very end of the video to hear all my thoughts and sharing. And if you like my channel and like classical items as well as Chanel and luxury goods, please don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. When I saw them at the boutique, it was about year 2020. So that was 1 year after they were released. So I thought, wow, the logo was so huge. That is totally not my style because I was a classic flap kind of person. So when I saw this big CC logo here, I thought that was too flashy. So that's not really my vibes and my style. Also, I feel like the quoting here is too big to be a classic Chanel handbag. Because in my mind, I was still loving the classic flap so much that I would never ever consider the 19 bag. However, later on, I started seeing YouTubers and in social media, the celebrities are using the bag, and I feel like, wow, this bag has that sort of lazy vibe and this kind of tomboy girl vibes that you can't really achieve with classic flap. So I thought, okay, this is something different and I'm willing to try. And when I saw the very first time that this bag came in the light gray color from the 21 Mattia Dark collection, I thought, wow, this is such an elegant 19 bag color. And I thought this combination of light gray in gold skin and a Chanel 19 bag just make it both feminine and also lazy at the same time. So I thought, okay, let's give it a try. And turns out I fell more and more in love with this 19 bag because of this specific color. And the same for the caramel color. So from the 21K collection, there was the caramel colors that were about to return from the 21P collection, all right? But there were no classic flap for that season for this caramel color. There was only the boy bag or the 19 bag. So between the boy and the 19, I would definitely choose the 19 because the boy was too military style for me. So because of the combination of both the light gray and the caramel color, and the potential different look that the Chanel 19 bags can achieve that is different from the classic flap bags. So I fell in love with these bags gradually. And of course, social media and YouTubers also play a role in there because quite a lot of YouTubers were saying that this bag has quite a lot of capacity compared to the classic flap bag because, for example, there's a back pocket here where you can put your entire cell phone. And also, this is also a bit wider than, definitely holds more than a mini rectangular and mini square, and maybe holds a little bit more than the classic flap in the medium large size. So I started to fall in love with it and I thought, great, I am a mini bag person, but sometimes I might need a medium size bag. Okay, this is a small size 19 bags, but for me, this is like a medium-sized bag where I can hold a bit more than just my card holder and my phone and my AirPods. So I made my purchase decision. I bought the light gray in July last year in 2021, and I bought this caramel color in October 2021. And I love them a lot. I have been wearing them non-stop. So that was what drove my purchase decision and how I fell in love with the bag in the first place. Number one, I am a very short girl. I'm only 5'1", which is very, very petite. So even though there's a top handle and also there's a shoulder strap here, I have to admit that I've been only using the top handle, okay? I rarely or never use a shoulder strap. I only use the shoulder strap when I have to free my hand for 10 seconds. I never use a shoulder strap because it's just way too long for my frame. be it treating it as a shoulder bag or a crossbody. It's just too long. So I'm only using it as a top handle. However, what drove me crazy is that after using it for a while, because I only use it as a top handle, the top part of the flap here is sort of crashing down. So you can see that the bag is empty right now with only stuffed paper. If I would carry something more, the gravity is gonna weigh in more, and therefore this part of the bag is gonna drop more. I am very fearful that this part of the leather is going to tear apart, right? As you can see, it's supposed to be flat or not that curved. But right now, this is curved. This is completely curved. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I'm using a top handle bag, but because of a top handle, it is destroying the top of the bag. And this is a major deal breaker for me. And funny enough, I noticed the same thing for a caramel bag, even though for the caramel bag, I use it less often. However, the leather seems to be even more fragile. You can see, right? This part of the top handle here just keep dropping. I'm so afraid that if I keep using it and I keep putting things inside, it's gonna break. It's not breaking yet, but I'm so conscious that it might break. And I don't want to use a bag with the fear of something's gonna break, you know? This is not a good feeling. And we're talking about Chanel bag, and it should not happen for a Chanel bag. You see what I mean? So that's the major deal breaker for me, and this is no longer flat anymore. The second deal breaker for me is that because I'm storing my bag vertical, the bags started to sag. You can tell, right? Both back here starting to lose the shape. Okay, so the caramel seems to be better because I bought it 3 months after the gray color one. So gray color one, I used it more and I bought it earlier. So maybe that's the reason it sagged more. Or maybe I didn't stuff enough paper inside to protect the shape. But I'm already using a bag insert for both bags, all right? I stuff paper and that's a bag insert. But I think maybe I didn't stuff enough paper inside for it to hold the shape. But anyway, you can see the bag just sag. And this looks super sad. It's literally, I only have the bag for a bit more than 1 year time. And this is already like this. For my classic flat bags that I have for years, that I have for 5 years or 10 years, and for those vintage classic flat bags that I bought with a history of 13 years, like my jumbo flat bag that I newly bought, the shape of the bag still holds after so many years. But with Chanel 19 bags, I just can't stand the fact that I'm seeing them sag, all right? And not just on the side. The worst part of the sagging comes in here. So because there's CC turn lock here, so the weight of the flap, of the edge of the flap here is going to crash a bit. This part is front part of the leather. So as you can see, it's really bad here to see this not even, this no longer flat, all right? So the gray one is slightly serious, more serious than the caramel one, because for the caramel one, I got it 3 months later than the gray one. So there's still the uneven surface here, which I really don't like. And I can't imagine this is happening already after 1 year. How am I gonna keep the bag for 5 years, 10 years? Because whenever I buy a bag, I do not want to buy a bag for reselling it after just using for several times. I buy a bag because I've done so much research and I truly love the bag. So it's really sad to see this creasing, which is not supposed to see in a Chanel handbag because Chanel bags are so expensive. The third deal breaker is that one of my 19 bags, the flap is not even. So especially for my caramel bag, you can see that when I close the flap, this part is slightly higher and this part is slightly lower. So you can see this is actually not horizontal. This is slightly tilted to the right hand side, and I don't like that. I feel like this is a quality issue as well. Fourth reason is that that's also quality issue. For example, when I first bought the bag, that's already some scratches inside the bag here. But I didn't care because it was a hard to get item from the 21K collection, so I still went ahead. But I just realized that I just can't stand with this kind of issue with the quality, despite I love the color. You see what I mean? The fifth reason that I don't like this bag is because the capacity of the bag looks bigger than it actually is. So I know that the width of the Chanel 19 small bag is actually the same or slightly wider than the classic flap medium. However, it's not holding that much than it actually looks, okay? Because to hold the shape, I have to put a back insert here. So after putting the back insert, I don't have that much space to put in my other stuff. So the most I can put compared to a classic flat back medium size is actually my Kindle, or small items like my lip gloss, lipsticks, and tissue. So it's actually not holding that much. The next deal breaker here is that the chain is just too long, okay? It's just too annoying. So because I am so petite, I'm not using this shoulder strap at all because they're too long. And there's no way that you can adjust the shoulder strap that can also make the bag look good. I actually, for some time, tried to put a little adjustment clasp here to shorten the strap, but it just doesn't work if I want to use it as a crossbody or as a shoulder bag. So I gave up. And the proportion of the chain here, the shoulder strap and the top handle here, compared to the bag itself, it's just way too much. I feel like almost half of the weight of the bag goes to the strap and the chain. And that's ridiculous because I expect this to be a lovely bag where I can put all of my stuff, but why am I have to carry half of the weight just for the chain? This is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. This is just ridiculous. So that is really a major deal breaker for me, and that I have to really carry this bag like this the whole time, because the chain just keep hanging around and swinging, which I personally don't like the chain swinging. So I don't like that. The other thing I don't like about the bag is, and perhaps this is the last thing, is that when I will put things inside and fully stuffed, I don't like seeing a gap here. Okay, I feel this is not classy at all. I feel this is not safe and not classy. And I can't accept that this gap is getting bigger and bigger. The gap is getting bigger because I only use it as a top handle, and as I use more and more top handle, I feel like this top part is becoming more fragile, and therefore it's gonna lift up even more. So this is gonna sag even more, and this is going to lift even more because I keep using it as a top handle. I don't know what would happen in 2 years, 3 years, or even 5 years if I keep using it. Would there be a super huge gap and this flap just becomes super pointy? I actually don't know. I just feel like this is, when you see it from the side, I'm sorry guys, but this is not classy at all. This is not classy for a Chanel handbag, okay? With all these reasons, I fell out of love for the Chanel 19 bags. Alright, now I'm going to talk about why I have finally decided to sell the bag. The first reason being, this is not a classic Chanel handbag, okay? So even though the 19 bag is somehow in the classic line of Chanel, as you can see from the website, the 19, the boy, the 255, the classic flap, and the 22 bag, and perhaps even a Gabrielle in the earlier days, they were belonging to the classic line. Yes, it's still in the classic line according to the Chanel website. However, this is not a classic piece in the Chanel handbag for me because of the style. And so I do not see this as a must in my collection. That's the number one reason. The number two reason I decided to sell my bag right now is because I have seen the value of the Chanel 19 bags keep declining in the most recent months. It's true that the luxury resale market's value has been declining because of inflation, because of the war, and because of multiple reasons, and because equity market is not doing well in my city, for example. So people have been cautious about spending and selling their bags. And I see particularly there's a huge decline in the 19 bags resale value. I feel like people are loving the 19 bags less and less right now. And so I want to sell it when there is still a market value, because I'm not sure that what's going to happen in 5 years' time when it comes to the resale value of 19 bag. So I don't want to regret not selling right now. The third reason is definitely these two are still somehow popular colors. So I want to sell it when they're still popular. I mean, at some point, I'm really thinking it twice or three times. Should I sell it? This is such a beautiful light gray color and I have been enjoying it. And this is such a hard to get caramel color. But you know what? I have recently went to the boutique and I saw the caramel 19 bags on the shelf of the boutique. That means it's less hard to get right now than before. And so I want to sell them when it's still a demand for it, before it's too late. And the fourth reason is definitely, despite the sagging of my bag, they still look good. They're still in good condition. So again, I don't want to miss the chance of selling it to find new owners if the new owners can still take care of the bag and use it. And if they can use it as a crossbody or shoulder strap, perhaps it would give less pressure for the top handle and therefore less sagging. So I thought, okay, there's still a chance that I can find new owners because the condition is quite good. That's why I've decided to finally let go of them. So I have contacted consignment store and I'm about to send them for selling in 2 days. So before I send them to sell, I just want to tell you guys why I fell in love and fell out of love with this bag and why I decided to sell it. What do you think about the Chanel 19 bag? Did you hate it in the first place like me but then fell in love and then fell out of love, or you have been loving it all along, or you have been hating it all along? So for me, my final thought is that despite the look and feel and the buttery soft leather and everything of this bag and the lazy vibe this bag can give, I still don't like the fact that this is a non-structured bag. So I recently got my Louis Vuitton on the go PM, and this is such a structured bag. And to be honest, the length of the bag is like the same as the Chanel 19 bag, but it holds much more because it's taller. Okay? It's taller than the 19 bag and it's deeper. Okay, it's much deeper. And so because there's no flap, you can throw everything inside. So I have decided to go for this LV bag as a replacement to my caramel and my light gray 19 bag, because this color, which is called Dove and Cream, is actually in the middle of both the caramel and light gray color. There's a little bit of gray and there's a little bit of brown tone here. This is fantastic. But anyway, yeah, I just don't like the fact that this is not a structure bag. Okay guys, I have shared with you my first impression of the bag, how I disliked the bag in the first place, how I fell in love, and what are the deal breakers that make me fall out of love for the bag, and then my reason for selling the bag. So what do you feel about it? What do you feel about the 19 bags? Do you think this is still a popular bag? Do you think it's a keeper? Or do you think you're gonna let go of it if you're having one? Please feel free to share your comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you like my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. See you guys next time. Bye!